The Chicago Bulls are up by 9 points at halftime on the Milwaukee Bucks, 68-59. This is kind of unexpected because the Milwaukee Bucks played most of their starters, where the Chicago Bulls have been playing no starters but Josh Giddey. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another halftime hangout here at Chicago Bulls Central. And the Chicago Bulls are up right now on the Milwaukee Bucks. This is actually pretty surprising considering all things. But Josh Giddey is 4-8 from the field. He's 3 of 4 from three-point range with 12 points, tied with Giddey Buzelis as far as leading the Chicago Bulls in scoring. Josh Giddey also has 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block in this game as well for Josh Giddey. Adama Sanogo, who started this game. Shout out to Billy Donovan for realizing he still has a center that can play basketball. Adama Sanogo is 5 of 8 with 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 11 points in this game. Adama Sanogo is ready for NBA minutes. That's in 16 minutes for Adama Sanogo. Patem is 1 for 6 with 3-point range. He ain't getting that final roster spot. It's done. It's over. The fact that they aren't even playing THT in this game, to me, solidifies the fact that THT is probably going to get that final roster spot over Patem. Julian Phillips is 4-9, 2 of 6 from 3-point range, 2 rebounds, 10 points from him. And then Giddey Buzelis off the bench, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point line, 12 points from him. He's also chipping in 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover from him as well. And overall, it's difficult to take anything from the Bulls' style of play because the lineup is so much different than what we're seeing, both size-wise and stylistically. But, it is what it is. The bench is scoring pretty solidly. Chris Duarte is actually 3 of 4 from the field. Maybe I need to go off on Chris Duarte every pregame show for him to actually shoot the ball semi-effectively. 3 of 4, 2 of 3 from 3-point range. He has 8 points. He's the second leading scorer off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. Shout out to Chris Duarte, actually playing some basketball there. We've gotten to see Kenny Lofton Jr. We've gotten to see EJ Liddell as well in this game so far. And this has actually been a pretty entertaining game. And I said that in the halftime hangout. It's every time the Chicago Bulls, with any game, when you remove the starters in a preseason game like this, it removes the expectations and people just go out there and play free. And that's what we're seeing right now. Giddey Buzelis has already dunked on Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis got a flagrant foul pushing Josh Giddey. This game has been a really interesting game. It's been really interesting. So got to give them some credit up for that one on how they're playing there. But when it comes down to it, hey, it is what it is. Great. Modest ain't scared. You are absolutely right. He ain't scared at all. Giddey, 3 of 4 from 3, which is crazy right now. Crazy to say that. Wow, some of these young guys came to play. Great seeing this. That's for sure. 100%. 100%. We beat the starters with G League players. Yeah. They came out there initially, getting the Bulls really couldn't score in that first couple of minutes in the first quarter. But after they really started getting into rhythm, it is what it is there. Minus self-confidence is 10 times higher than P. Will's. Oh, yeah. That go him and Julian Phillips. That's 100% fact there. Giannis almost had that poster, and Giddey is out there shooting like Klay Thompson. Listen, Giddey is confidently taking threes. Like, we're talking about teams are giving him Bucks are giving him a little bit of space, and he's like, take that with you. And I'm just like, bring that to the regular season, my boy. We need that from you. Go Giddey. Dud's a podcast. Shout out. I don't think we've seen you here before. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming in, kicking it with us, my boy. QMG Saint says these boys will be fun to watch all season. That's all I can ask for. That's a fact. That's a fact. They got 3 starters in and losing to our third stringer. What is happening? Both teams are playing for very different things, though, right? They're playing really well together. I'm actually surprised. Phillips, Giddey, and Buzelis look great. Kenny looks solid. Duarte somehow making shots. Sanogo is showing why he deserves minutes. Listen, I get it that Adama Sanogo is undersized for a traditional center, right? But his strength, his wingspan, and his ability and timing on getting rebounds, I think Adama Sanogo will be fine at the NBA level. I really do. And it's not like he's he's not like 6'6" out there. He's 6'9", 245 pounds. Adama Sanogo can bang down. No Diddy, no Bobby. But this Adama Sanogo is a big. He can bang with the bigs, man. Let that brother play. And he hit a 3 in this game. Giddey won't take a backward step when pushed. Won't back down in Oz. In Oz? Oz? What? Oh, won't back down an ounce? Is that what you mean? We actually have a deep team with players that can actually play, unlike in the past. Now that I'm seeing this roster, got to give Acme some credit. And here's the thing that I said before a couple episodes ago, right? Is that if Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry continue this ascent that they look like they've on in preseason. Now, Dalen Terry isn't playing good tonight, but that is what it is. Not everybody, you're bound to have a bad game. But if they continue their ascent, do we also eventually have to reframe that AK didn't draft well? Now, P Will, right? That's not going to change until P Will changes it. So that's the thing. But look at what he's gotten. Ayo Dosunmu is a starting caliber player that he got in the second round. Julian Phillips is showing that he is going to be a player this season for the Chicago Bulls. Dalen Terry looks like at least an energy guy and a guy that can fill up the stat sheet in various ways. Not really a scorer yet, but still a solid piece, one that you got late in the first round. And then Miles Buzelis as a still at number 11, if he hits that potential that he hits, I think eventually we're going to have to look at it and say, AK's done a solid, not great, right? I'm not saying now Miles Buzelis, if he ends up turning into a near star level player, then that changes that. But I think that we can reframe it, or we could at the end of the season. I'm not saying for sure, but by the end of the season, we may be in a position where we have to reframe AK's draft history and say he had a miss at number 4 overall with Patrick Williams, but he's drafted pretty solidly other than that. Not great, not amazing, but pretty damn good when you really look at it. Again, that assumes that these guys are going to continue to develop on. So we'll see. Bench doesn't look bad so far. Duarte fine. Duarte is playing good today. I got to give him credit. He's playing good today. Hey, glad you can watch the game because most of Chicago can't. Listen, got to get those antennas. I'm not going to lie. Everyone has looked nice as fuck except Batum, to be honest. I like how EJ and Lofton looked out there. Listen, EJ Liddell made some very big heads-up plays, for sure. Wow, kind of impressed with threes, but also the young Bulls are holding their own against the more elite Bucks players. Facts. Need my fade this season, homie. What are you talking about? Who are you? You rock Haize having fun. Appreciate that, Eric. Let's talk about the best thing. There's been no Javon. That's a fucking fact, my boy. No ball-headed hoe Javon Carter out there. Thank the heavens. Thank the heavens. Finally, Bulls basketball is back, and our young ones are playing good. Yep, they're balling out there today. Definitely playing well out there today. Midas was my dream pick for this class. I'm so glad to see he isn't disappointed. I had 3 players on my board, and everybody who watches me consistently will tell you I did. So I evaluated 33 draft prospects on this channel in depth, meaning video breakdown, their skill set, everything this season. And I walked away with 3 players that I hope the Bulls will draft. Tajon Saloon, Miles Buzelis, and Khalil Ware. Those are my 3. If the Bulls walked away from the draft with any of those 3 guys, I would have been absolutely happy. I'm glad that the Bulls walked away with Miles Buzelis. I really like Miles Buzelis. Don't be surprised if the rookie and Giannis Antetokounmpo get into it. I doubt Giannis is probably going to play in the second half of this game. So graduate Sanogo from that 2-way contract. That's our baby Drummond. Well, we can't right now. We don't have the roster spot to graduate him up from a 2-way contract. But keep in mind, you don't necessarily have to this year. Why spend the money? You got more people coming off the books next year. You can play him up to 66 games, I think, on a 2-way contract. That's most of the season. The season's 82 games. So, we'll see what happens. Well, I'll be damned. It looks like we're surprisingly have better 3-point shooters than we had the past 3 years. We'll like a bit more defensive size in the front court position, but we'll see what happens. No, keep in mind, we'll see how the 3-point shooting goes. The Bulls faced off against basically what we did tonight is what the Grizzlies did it when we played against them. So, of course, our 3-point shooting looked a little better in that game. Let's see how it looks when the regular season starts, but maybe they're not going to be as bad as what me and many other people expected the Bulls to be 3-point shooting wise. Damn, Haize, you're right. AK may have cooked slight. I'm just saying, And again, that's with big caveats. I'm just saying that we already know Io's a steal, right? That goes without saying. Io's a steal in what we got him for in the second round. Julian Phillips looked like he could be on that trajectory. And like I said, Dalen, if he ends up turning into a solid player, like that's good for you. And then Modest. Modest is the one that could really make it all come home. So we got to see what that's going to be. But like I said, and this is why you always, the way that you have to look at drafts, trades, everything, transactions in sports, right? You, of course, look at it initially to say who initially won the move, right? But then you have to reevaluate every year or so and really look at what it is. We may look at this 3 years down the road and look back at AK's draft classes and say, hey, listen, considering AK gave up 3 first-round picks, right? 2 that went to the Orlando Magic, 1 to the San Antonio Spurs. So there were years that he didn't have first-round picks. But if every one of these players at least turns into a rotational piece, that's better than a lot of teams do with more assets than what the Bulls have. So you got to give credit to that. And then that's not even to mention if Adama Sanogo as an undrafted free agent that he signed on draft day, like what if that ends up working out for you, right? So we'll end up seeing what happens. We'll see what happens. Aaron Rodgers just got pounded for. Whoa, wait a second. I got to start proofreading y'all comments. Giddey and the bench, great Elton John song. That's crazy. Might not be bad, might win 30 games. Listen, I mean, that's definitely where we are right now. That's definitely where we are right. I thought come on. Everybody knows I hated Zach Edey. Come on now. We're not even going to play about that one. I'm happy that Josh is doing a good job tonight, but I still have to see it with the whole starting 5 before I'm I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Don't give up on my nigga Pat. He's going to turn up soon. The energy of this young team, he got to get with it or get left. I believe he understands that most. I mean, we'll see. Like listen, I'm not somebody who writes off players when they're still 22 years old, 23. What now is Patrick Williams? I've said it before on podcasts. Like Patrick Williams has 2 more years for me, and that maybe that's giving him too much, but 2 more years to me. By 25, 26, typically you know who a player is. So we'll see. We'll see. Also, y'all roasting C-Dub is funny. Oh, we gotta roast. That's my uncle. We gotta roast him. Not bad. Good job, Bulls. Let's see in the third quarter. Facts. That's a big fact. Soon as P will leave the team, he's not gonna turn into Kawhi Leonard. Like they don't even have that was always a bad comparison, but we'll see. Duarte looks better. He's a shorter. He's making you eat your words. No, he's not. Listen, everybody can get hot one game. That's Andre Drummond had a game where he made 3 3-pointers. Listen, Chris Duarte is not a good shooter. I don't care what nobody says. His career averages are worse than Denzel Valentine. So it is what it is there. I know if anybody remembers, Bajoki Noah's best season was the season that he didn't do too good in the preseason. Why do you keep repeating the same facts? Shay just likes it. Shay will just say some shit, be like, but I'm right though. Shay be like, hey, you know what? Eggs aren't actually white. They're eggshell. That's the actual color. And he'd be like, we know, Shay. Thank you. That's why the color eggshell is titled eggshell. Shay be like, you know what? We're not actually black. We're melanated. We know that. We know that, Shay. We know that we're not jet black walking around here. Like, we know that, Shay. We know that. Even though Shay's Nigerian, so Shay's actually blacker than a motherfucker. But, that's my little brother. Phillips might force P. Will to get busy or get on the bench this year. We'll see. To be honest, I always saw Patrick Williams better off the bench, always, anyways, as a 3-and-D guy. People say that, but his numbers are literally the same. Now, some people could say that actually supports he needs to come off the bench. Literally, when Patrick Williams is coming off the bench, he still averaged 9.8 points per game, the same 10 points per game that he averaged as a starter. And so maybe with those lessened expectations, you take that for what it means. Point center? Who's a point center? Modest is going to be a star. He's definitely earned a lot of minutes this season for sure. Already better than P. Will. That's crazy. That's crazy. Julian Phillips out second half with rib contusion. They announced that. Doesn't surprise me. He did land pretty hard. And the Bulls aren't playing with injuries. I don't know if it's the new, because keep in mind the Bulls have a new medical staff. So I don't know if it's the medical staff that are literally like, hey, we not playing the shit that the old medical staff did. Y'all hurt, sit your ass down. That very well could be it. That very well could be it. Burn City, yes. Lonzo Ball, actually, they announced that he will be playing on Wednesday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Lonzo Ball will be making his debut Wednesday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. First time playing basketball in almost 3 years. Shout out to Lonzo Ball. It's not really injuries. They're more hurt than injuries. But I think they're just playing it safe. And that's what you should do in preseason. There's no reason to rush it in preseason. But all right, y'all, get ready to end the halftime hangout. I'll be back post-game show. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red, y'all. Peace.